Manchester United have broken a correlation, but it's not a good one. There is a parallel between wage spend and success on the field. People think it's transfer spend, but it's not. There's a 98% correlation between how much you spend on wages and where your club finishes. And United have broken that at the moment. Manchester United have the biggest payroll in the Premier League, and by some distance. And we have one of the bigger payrolls in European football. And we have demolished the parallel between overall salary and success. I don't think that's something to celebrate, to be honest with you. Manchester United pays 50 million more than City and Liverpool in wages. We have a wage bill of £208 million annually. And we last won a trophy 5 years ago in 2017. Out of the top 5 Premier League earners, Manchester United have 4 of them. Cristiano Ronaldo, David De Gea, Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho. Only KDB breaks that Manchester United contingent from being a clean sweep of the top 5 earners. And he's the second highest earner in the league behind Cristiano Ronaldo on 400 grand a week. I want to look at this graph with you. This is where Manchester United's players are in terms of their peak, their decline, and whether or not they're developing. Now, there's a bit of a bad precedent set here because Jadon Sancho, being one of the youngest players in the squad, in the first team, being the 4th highest earner, means that he's only going to drift towards Ronaldo at the top. His next contract is going to have to be significant. That's the problem with awarding enormous contracts. Having someone like Varane on there, if it wasn't for his injuries, is not a problem. Having Pogba where he is, not a problem. Fernandes, not a problem. Maguire, not a problem if he was still being productive. That's where you want those players to be. When they start drifting beyond that peak, like De Gea, like Cavani, although Cavani was a stopgap, short-term sort of signing. But Mata and Matic being above that peak, well into the decline and into some significant weekly wages, is a problem for us. United don't have a lot of balance about where we are when it comes to wages. There's all sorts of dramas in terms of who's paid what, how much they paid, and what sort of level of productivity we get out of that. How's United's wage structure and transfer policy set this precedent that probably started with Sanchez being awarded the sort of disgusting contract that he was given, despite not really having earned it? The knock-on effect of his contract was that David De Gea became one of the highest paid players in the world, if not the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. And United do need to start paying higher wages to start attracting players. I don't think Jadon Sancho would have come if it wasn't for the fact that he was given a significant contract to come, because the footballing appeal of Manchester United is not what it once was. We don't have an Alex Ferguson who you would just sign for and be like, what's the wages? I don't worry about it, actually. I'm happy days because I'm probably going to win the Premier League and then we'll talk about it after that. Ralph Rangnick, I think, is the sort of person that you're going to want with Paul Mitchell making the amendments. I think Solskjaer had started to do it, wasn't given the opportunity to complete the task that he should have done. But there's many, many more. You look at that list: Mata, Matic, Phil Jones, Lingard, all on significant wages. All of them need to come away from that. As Laurie Whitwell was talking about this morning, with Lingard, Pogba, Mata, Cavani not renewing, with those alone, there's £750,000 per week Manchester United can save. When you think that there's probably going to be moves from Marshall, Henderson, Eric Bailly, Phil Jones, maybe even Matic, United could claw back more than the deficit that we've currently got behind the likes of Manchester City. Now, yeah, we're going to sign some people, I'm sure, and there's probably going to be some more contracts given out and extended. This is one of the reasons why signing Paul Pogba up would have been a bad move. But United can probably save £1.5 million per week there, or maybe a touch less. But that's £75 million a year in wages. That's a significant amount of saving. That's one world-class player coming in every single season. And this is why Manchester United have been run poorly, because we allow so much money to go to the Glazers in dividends, so much money to be wasted on wages, so much money to be wasted on interest repayments, let alone the wages and unproductivity. There's some teams in the Premier League that are competing with us that aren't paying £75 million per year and are getting better value for money. And we're wasting £75 million per year. If we're paying just over 200 million annually and you can just like that, take 75 million off it. That's the sort of cultural reset we've just seen Paolo Maldini undertake at AC Milan, where he halved their wage bill. He got theirs down from being somewhere in the region of 150 down to 68. Literally what Manchester United are doing. Literally what Manchester United need to do. We're not getting value for money out of our players. Liverpool pay 134 million. With allowing that list of players there to just leave, we'd be on parity with Liverpool, at least in terms of what we're paying for wages. I don't think anyone's going to make the case that we've got a squad just as good as theirs. But either way, that squad on 134 million a year has produced 5 trophies in the last 5 years. FIFA World Club Cup, League Cup, as well as being European champions and league champions. And they refuse to give Mo Salah a blank checkbook. Mo Salah's been 1,000% more productive than Paul Pogba has been in the last 3 to 4 years. Yet they're going, let's wait on this and let's make a sensible decision. United are bending over and going, please stay, Paul. We'll give you £500,000 a week. We'll make you the highest paid player in the country. Has he earned that? No. Has Mo Salah earned that? Yes. Far be it from me to see Liverpool run correctly. But I think they'll do a massively beneficial thing if they give him a take it or leave it offer of a sensible wage. He's probably worth 250, 300, but only a short one. Or they introduce it with step down sort of tiers that he's not going to be still earning 300-400 grand a week in 4 years' time, as he definitely starts to decline. They're run right. Manchester City now, for all those that are saying Manchester City pay offshore holding companies, this and the other, we don't have the evidence of that, even though we definitely suspect that that's the case, and people are coming out saying that that is the case, and people earn different places. But what's published is Manchester City earn or pay 141 million in wages annually in the last 5 years. Multiple-time Premier League champions, Community Shield winners, FA Cup winners, just got through to the semi-final of the Champions League in Europe, looking like both of these two clubs, who we pay a fortune more than, are comfortably two of the best teams in Europe. So it's not even Premier League tax. Arsenal, now they've got rid of Aubameyang especially, they're looking at about £80 million in wages. United might be able to get rid of 75 million with these clowns here. 80 million in wages. They're going to finish above us this season. They've had a couple of FA Cup successes in the last few years, as well as a Community Shield that no one really gives a toss about. But still, Chelsea's the possible anomaly. And I say this as their current European champions, but in the last 5 years, they've been European champions. They won the Premier League the last time we won a trophy. They won the Champions League last season. They got 2 FA Cups in that time, a Europa League and a Super Cup. Chelsea win trophies. Now they're paying £162.5 million per year in salary. But they've got 2 very, very good squads. Their 6th choice midfielder starts for us. Okay, that's England. England overpays maybe a little bit. What's the rest of Europe saying? Bayern Munich, £165.4 million. £3 million a week is their wages. £3.18 million per week. Borussia Dortmund, how well run are they? £99 million per year. Barcelona, who were last year completely out of control. Messi was paid £2.6 million per week. They've got their overall wage bill down to less or about the same as they was paying him. They also got Griezmann off the books, who was on at 800 grand a week. Now their overall wage bill is bang on £3 million per week. Still a lot less than Manchester United. Juventus, £145 million, £2.798 million per week. Real Madrid, they're one of the few that actually outspend us. And by few, I mean it's them and PSG, really. And we know the reasons for both of those. You got Gareth Bale on an astronomical wage at Real Madrid. They're putting out £4.6 million per week, 242 million. They make us look a little bit well run. And then, of course, PSG with the most expensively assembled squad of all time. And Messi's actually took a pay cut to go there. He's only on $1 million, unlike the 2 point whatever million he was on when he was at Barcelona. But they're paying out $5 million. $5 million a week in wages. £260 million a week. But you know what? Every single one of those teams on that list has won things in the last 5 years. Every single one of those teams is enjoying their football more than we are. Every single one of those teams isn't also paying 100 and some million pounds of debt every single year because their owners leveraged a buyout on the club and mortgaged the future earnings of that football club. Our top 5 biggest earners. Ronaldo, as we mentioned, De Gea on 375 grand a week, Jadon Sancho on 350, Rafael Varane on 340, Paul Pogba on 290, with talks of it rising to £500,000 per week. Do not tell me we get value for money out of these. 3 of the 5 biggest earners at the football club are recent signings. 3 out of the 5 footballers on that list came in the last 12 months. So the trajectory currently for Manchester United is more of a PSG one than a Dortmund one or a Liverpool one. But we're not seeing the trophies, we're not seeing the success. When we say Richard Arnold has got a job on his hands and Ten Hag has got a job on his hands to turn around the culture at this football club, we're not just talking about the internal politics of the dressing room and the standards on the football pitch. We're talking about the mentality of every single person wearing a shirt and tie at this football club to get it right and turn it round. I can't believe any CEO, Mr. Woodward, could comfortably think that they're doing a good fucking job when you look at the returns. This is a club run by bankers and investors, and we have some of the worst business minds in the world. You can't be happy with your return on investment. We pay through the arse. We have a stadium crumbling. We are on the verge of having to invest hundreds of millions of pounds into our stadium, hundreds of millions of pounds into our training ground, hundreds, if not billions, into our playing squad to be able to compete, and the wages are spiraling out of control. You cannot give Paul Pogba a new contract. You can't afford it. We're paying our rent on fucking Wonga loans. Run like a bunch of fucking muppets. Crackheaded accounting is the basics of what we're doing. Manchester United need a reset. And it ain't just the 11 wankers that are taking the field. It's the fucking 12 wankers that sit around a boardroom and come up with all this lot and think that this is a fucking good idea. Run like a bunch of fucking muppets. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.